Once in a while, there exist music albums that form the soundtrack to our lives. These albums rise from the depths of greatness and reach the dizzying heights of immortality. Michael Jackson gave us Thriller. Kendrick Lamar gave us Good Kid, Mad City. Heck, Adele gave us 21. But amongst this iconic album, there exists an even rarer breed of creation. These are albums that transcend the glitz and glamour of global acclaim and speak directly to the hearts and soul of a people. These are albums that form the soundtrack of a nation, and P Square's Game Over is one of such offerings. Now I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Yusuf, you're probably crazy. How can you put P Square's Game Over and Michael Jackson's Thriller in the same breath? Well, if you give me approximately 5 minutes of your time, I'm going to show you why P Square's Game Over isn't just any music album. It's a sonic landmark, a cultural relic whose impact echoes through time.
I'm telling you, this game is over. Back up and leave. I know the feel is love anymore, like I used to before. Let's do it, that is how I feel.
Now, in case you didn't know, P Square is a Nigerian music duo made up of identical twin brothers Peter and Paul Okoye. Their journey started off in Jos, Nigeria, where they were heavily influenced by the king of pop, Michael Jackson. Over time, they developed their talents, blending the sounds of R&B, hip-hop, and even highlife, eventually creating a sound that was uniquely theirs. Now, after years of grinding, it became time for them to release their first album, and in 2003, P Square released their debut album, Last Night. Now, although this album garnered some national attention, it was their sophomore project, Get Squared, that catapulted them into the eyes of the nation. With hits like Busybody, Temptation, there was no escaping this album. Peter and Paul Okoye had finally done it.
I like it.
I love them so much.
And if the story was to end here, this would have been the perfect grass to grace story. Two brothers from very humble beginnings had worked their way through the industry and achieved global acclaim. But what was about to happen next proved to me that we're not the authors of our own creativity. We're simply just brushstrokes on a canvas. And when it's time to make our one true masterpiece, we are forever guided by a hand we will never see. Because in 2007, Peter and Paul Okoye released their greatest work ever. In my opinion, Game Over.
I'm telling you, this game is over. Back up and leave. I know the feel is love anymore, like I used to before. Let's do it, that is how I feel. You play me for a fool. I'm telling you, this game is over. Back up and leave. Hey, go, go. Hey, go. This game is over.
Now, even as you watch this review, I'm sure you fully don't appreciate how great this album is. So allow me to enlighten you. You see, P Square's Game Over started off with a song, No One Like You.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, no one like.
This song is a cultural classic. It is sure to get everybody moving in any function, be it a wedding, graduation, breakup. No One Like You is sure to get people dancing. Like, what are we talking about here? This is the intro to the project. But they didn't stop there, because the very next song is Game Over. To me, this is one of the most underrated songs on the album, but it's the title track of the album, Game Over. Once you hear those chords, I don't know what it is, but the chords are sure to make you feel something. Now, if this album only had No One Like You and Game Over, you're thinking this is a very, very, very strong start to an album. But the very next song is the Nigerian classic, Do Me. Oh my God. What are you telling me? Do Me is number 3 on the project. This is incredible.
I love the way you do me, do me, do me, do me, do me, do me, do me.
Boy, I love the way you do me, do me, do me, do me, do me, do me.
Now, if the project just stopped here with these 3 songs, this is already a timeless masterpiece. But this exact same project had hits like Miss You Die, More Than a Friend, Am I Still That Special Man, and Ifunaya. Ifunaya is on this project. People, P-Square didn't need to go this hard. But whenever you think they've reached the limit, they go even further, because the same album had the hit song Roll It. Roll It.
I like it. I like it.
P-Square indeed made a classic with Game Over, and I urge you to take the time out after watching this video to go revisit this project. Okay, so Yusuf, what's the point in all of this? Well, you see, Peter and Paul Okoye still put out music, but independently this time. The idea of P-Square as we knew it is long gone. There has been so much controversy that's happened between the 2 brothers, it's hard to imagine them coming together as P-Square again.
In 2017, you separated as a duo and went your separate ways. What happened?
But you see, this got me thinking, when do we know we're creating our best work? When do we know that this body of work or this piece of content we're going to create is going to be our magnum opus? And is creativity like a well you draw from, and once it's dry forever? I don't know, but let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe.
If you grew up in Nigeria between 2000 and 2010, you know hip-hop was everything. And right at the heart of that scene was P-Square.